Hey everybody. I was just sitting here. I got all kind of stuff swirling in my head this afternoon. The country's just busy and crazy. The world's crazy. A lot of things going on, and so I was thinking. I mean, we have to give Disney and ABC their due. They did put him back on the air. They did listen to a lot of people across the country who were upset by it, and so although I we disconnected from Disney, Disney Plus, Hulu, all that as a protest against them doing what they did to Jimmy Kimmel. And I don't, my thing is, I think we have too much of that stuff anyhow. I'd be okay with deleting Apple and the rest of it, really. To be honest with y'all, I get more entertainment off of Facebook and TikTok, mainly TikTok, than all the 793 cable channels or whatever it is out there. But anyway, I was thinking about that. At least Disney did the right thing in the end, And the thing with Stephen Colbert, the way CBS did it, now there were reports that Jimmy Kimmel was going to file $1 billion lawsuit against ABC Disney because of his contract. His contract gave him certain things he couldn't say or he could be fired. What he did was not part of that contract. But anyhow, that's rumor and innuendo. But he was going to go out swinging and fighting. He was meeting with his attorneys and lawyers and so forth. That much is public. So, but anyhow, what CBS did, they didn't approach it of saying they were letting Stephen Colbert go because of something he said or that he was too political. Everybody knows why he's being shut down. Donald Trump, CBS Paramount has a major merger before the FCC. And if Donald Trump okays it, it can go through, and then they become even a lot bigger conglomerate. I haven't said much about the CBS stuff, although I think they're unpatriotic, they're un-American. And how are we to ever believe anything that has CBS News on it? And most all the correspondents for 60 Minutes and the other CBS, Leslie Stahl and different ones have come out forcefully and said they're really shading everything and not being honest with the American people. I haven't said too much about that because George Cheeks, who is the CEO of CBS and the co-CEO of Paramount Global, I mean, they're Atlanta people. I knew his dad, Paul Cheeks, architect here in Atlanta, come into my shop for years. I consider his brother a friend, a personal friend of mine. And even when George Cheeks' dad died, they invited me to come. They had a small gathering of the very substantial people here in Atlanta, former mayors, Mayor Shirley Franklin, few other people, and they invited me to come to his celebration service. I didn't go, Ava and I didn't go, but I watched it on YouTube. And so it's really it's hard to be adamant. And I've lost customers and I've lost friends, I've lost family, over my anti-MAGA, anti-Trump voice. And I mean, pretty much, I had a family member. I just said, I don't care if they ever speak to you again, and I don't know how many customers I've lost over it. It's hard for me to rant and rail about CBS being traitors and unpatriotic and this and that and the other when the CEO there is, I know he's good people. I know his dad. I know his brother. It's hard for me to rant and rave against that company that he runs and is the CEO of it. And I just know they're good people. And but good people we hope they do what's good when the time comes. And they're just shutting down all of the late show with Stephen Colbert. And so anyhow, there's that. But we have to give Disney their due. The other thing that crossed my mind today that's just laying there on the bed thinking, let's just say, for example, that the Democrats win in the midterms. And we go back to Hakeem Jeffries, Speaker of the House, And I don't think they will, but should they win the Senate, we go back to Chuck Schumer. So we wind back up with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Y'all, that's just not a winning card for me. I don't even feel good about that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of, maybe I need more, but I'm not a huge fan of Hakeem Jeffries. I think we need a stronger, a more forceful Speaker of the House on the Democratic side. And I guess we got spoiled with Nancy Pelosi, because I'm telling you, that old girl from San Francisco, she'd bring the claws out, and she was cut out to be Speaker. And Chuck Schumer, he's been in political office since 1975. 50 years he's been in political office. I mean, the people that's running for Congress, I'd be okay with them taking a thing saying we're not going to, our Senate, the senator here in Georgia, John Ossoff, he ought to tell people, if reelected, I'm not going to vote for Chuck Schumer should the Democrats get the majority in the Senate to be Senate Majority Leader. I'm telling you, I almost feel like sometimes, and y'all know how strongly I am against Trump and MAGA. I feel like sometimes the whole Democratic Party needs to be burnt to the ground, just like the Republican Party was burnt to the ground by MAGA. I mean, there is no Republican Party no more. Maybe the country's reached a place where the Democrat Party needs to have that done, just to be burnt to the ground. You know, get rid of all of them. And have some people in there that's fighters. And I know, you got the socialist Democrat running in New York City. You got AOC that could challenge Chuck Schumer for his Senate seat in New York. And there are reports that the polls show that she would beat Chuck Schumer. I know y'all say, oh, she's a radical left lunatic. We don't need Chuck Schumer. And the jury's out whether Hakeem Jeffries do. We just really want to go back to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and yeah, we won in the midterms. Now let's get the country back. You know, it's, to me, it doesn't. All that doesn't excite anybody. So anyway, the political climate's got to be shifting for the Democrats, and we're going to lose, y'all, if we just get lulled back into the same old, electing the same old people, voting for the same old system. In one way, the Democratic Party almost needs to implode and get a whole new team of players that are smart, that has figured out this new way of political fighting, that has figured out how to galvanize and use social media. And we can't, it's not enough to get reelected just by saying, oh, we hate MAGA and we hate Trump. We hate Trump, we hate MAGA, so let's just vote for whoever the Democrats put up there. We're going to lose again if we do that. So anyway, giving Disney their due, maybe eventually I'll go back and watch one of their movies that hit the theater. I'm still kind of aggravated at them. I don't know what to make of Paramount and CBS. You know, that's just, we know what they're doing. They're cowards. They're sold out. They're more worshiping of the corporate big billion-dollar dollars than they are being true to Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite, these people that stood with the CBS News marker over their shoulder, and we believed that they were being truthful to us. We can never believe anything CBS News ever says again. 60 Minutes, as far as I'm concerned, they'll be fake news for the rest of my life, because the people that's at the head of them care nothing about the country. Care nothing about the country. They sold their souls to the corporate dollar. So anyhow, having said that, good day, good Wednesday, top of the day to you. Love you. We got to figure this out, but I'm telling you, going back to the old ways and doing the same old bullshit, we're going to wind up on election nights across the country with MAGA winning again. See y'all.